Hi, welcome back to Car Juice, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the squeeze on the 2021 Audi S5 Cabriolet. That might have been a little bit of a pickle for me, but I'm still not in as much of a squeeze as the 2025 Audi S5 Convertible is. They're no longer producing it for the new model year, and as a BMW client advisor myself, I figured that this might be the perfect time to kind of give you guys a bit of a review on the last generation of the Audi S5 Convertible as we know it. The Audi S5 Convertible competes very stoutly with the BMW M440 with its 350 horsepower V6 engine that is capable of driving at very aggressive speeds and is also just a generally really great car. You've got excellent styling on both the front and the rear of the vehicle with LED headlights and LED taillights, plus some really great looking wheels. So let's go ahead, pop the hood, show you guys a couple of more things, and get right into the regular video. Whenever I found out that they were killing the Audi S5 Coupe and convertible models, I was really disappointed because this is just like a great looking car. You've got 20-inch wheels on all four corners with Continental tires and all-wheel drive system, an 8-speed transmission, and that 350 horsepower V6 engine that propels this car to 0 to 60 in around a 4.2 times. So pretty fast. It also has a great looking quad exhaust setup here in the back, 2 pipes on either side. And it competes very well against the M440 as both vehicles are right in that $70,000 to $75,000 price point. This car is a little bit more geared towards luxury than what the M440 is, but overall still a great performance vehicle too. With 20-inch wheels on all four corners, it fills out those wheels and tires very, very well. And then you've got those attractive looking red brake calipers. Very nice Audi kind of adaptive headlights here on the front. They're LEDs, so you can have that little yellow marker in there saying that if you look at it, you are gonna go blind. And just like the M440, you have a very large, pronounced front grille, making this thing look very, very sporty. The Audi, while it does do the styling thing just as well as the M440, it's not as aggressive looking, with a little bit more focus being pushed towards the luxury model and luxury spec. If you get the night optics package, you are going to get a blacked out kidney grille as well as blacked out mirrors. This car doesn't have that. And then with that too, you would also get the blacked out exhaust tips. Another thing that's different between the Audi and the BMW is that the Audi's top moves a little bit faster than the BMW's does, and you can actually put the top down on this car in just about 15 seconds, versus on the M440 it takes about 18. That does come with a little bit of a sacrifice, as with the faster moving top, it's not quite as quiet on the highway, but we'll get onto that a little bit more in the driving portion. But for a weekend warrior car that you're not going to be taking phone calls in like you might would with an M440, this car would actually be a little bit more practical for having the top down by the time you exit the neighborhood. This car is just finished in white, and then you've got these nice quilted black leather seats here on the interior. Both the Audi and the BMW have the same gamut of safety features and top-down cameras, but I did find that the Audi is a little bit easier to use those safety features on. The trunk, as you guys saw earlier, is not too bad for a convertible. You've got this little partition here that does go up if you need that extra space, and I do think that the trunk is slightly deeper in the Audi convertible, but you do have more space in the BMW whenever you push this piece back up here. The seats do fold down on either side independently, and you get this nice wind deflector, so if you need to put the top down and you want to be able to actually take a phone call or talk in the car like a normal human, you will still be able to do that by installing that windscreen in the back. That more or less kind of covers a lot of the stuff on the outside. I do want to mention that both the M440 and the S5 both get right around 30 miles per gallon or so combined with their 6-cylinder engines, which is very impressive, but also to be expected with those 8-speed transmissions. Generally, cars nowadays just get such good gas mileage just because of how good their transmission setup is, and just generally modern turbocharging systems just make cars very, very efficient. That being said, let's go ahead and hop in the car and we'll take this thing on a bit of a drive. Very nice. Just so that you guys can hear me on the test drive, as much as I would like to keep this top up, we're gonna go ahead and press down on this little button here and put the top up for our test drive, just because it's going to be a little bit too noisy if I am keeping the top down wherever I'm going. Full top, 15 seconds, and then you even have some little lights that you can access in the back with that top up, which is quite cool. And then the top is a lot squishier and a lot less reinforced and insulated than what's available on the M440. So you could cut right through that. On an M440, this is actually has an entire layer of aluminum and carbon fiber sandwich, making this top much louder than what's available in the M440. Mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I just wanted to make sure that I reinforced that kind of aspect of this. There's also a moonlit top available for an M440, which looks a little bit more premium, and you don't get as many wear lines in it, and it doesn't pick up as much lint. But the Audi does fold up a little bit smaller, so maybe that loudness is why they're no longer selling as well. Audi has just not been able to keep up with BMW in terms of convertible sales. I don't understand why though. Just from a broad perspective, you know, the performance isn't quite as good, the top isn't quite as good, it's not as quiet, but I mean, it's still a great car. Maybe they just should have lowered the price, but maybe the margins just no longer work. That being said, let's just kind of keep talking about some of the other cool stuff before we do take this thing on a bit of a cruise. You've got this carbon fiber interior trim here on the inside of the door, and then you have Audi's kind of faux suede on the door cards. The leather on the door feels nice and quality, but not as nice as what's available on the seats. Audi always has had these coolest leather seats with the perforated leather on both the R8 and the S5 being kind of the same. I'm not as much of a fan of the steering wheel that's on the S5 compared to what's available on the M440. The paddle shifters here are pretty small and not very purposeful. The car steering wheel also feels slightly too big and kind of too thin all at the same time. I don't know. I'm gonna throw you guys probably on this window here and another camera over here, and then we'll take this thing on a bit of a cruise. All right, so behind the wheel of the Audi S5, you're in a pretty comfortable seats, pretty comfortable interior actually. I would say that honestly, first impressions that the S5 is more comfortable than what's available in the M440. The seats are a little bit wider. Also they're definitely higher quality. And there's a lot of other just generally just kind of nice features available in this car. However, yeah, while the features are nicer, the performance is just right off the rip, definitely lacking. The transmission is not near as responsive, and the exhaust isn't nearly as engaging. The 0 to 60 time is over half a second slower, with the 4.4 second being available in the Audi S5, and then the M440 completing the 0 to 60 in just 3.8 seconds. You can feel that 0.6 second difference, and the transmission feels also just very disconnected and just not capable of doing a lot of the same things that the BMW is capable of. For like a great kind of, you know, weekend warrior car where you aren't worried about the amount of road noise from the exterior of the car, as well as just generally just not caring about the performance quite as much. The Audi's great. You still have a wireless charger on the center console there. You've got a large 10.2 inch Audi MMI touchscreen here in the center, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's not bad, but you know, the BMW of the same year offers a 12.3 inch touchscreen. The modern BMW has a all new redesigned curved display, which not even going to get into that because it just can't even begin to compare with some of the features that this car is lacking compared to that. I will say that the top-down 360 parking camera is quite nice that you can use whenever you put this thing into its top-down mode. This top 360 camera honestly looks a little bit clearer than what was available at this time of this car being produced. But the infotainment, you've got these like very clunky type controls on that center stack in there, and then the paddle shifters are just embarrassingly small. For this being a $75,000 performance car, it's just really kind of confused where it's trying to go after both BMW's market share and Audi and Mercedes market share at the same time while not doing too great of a job at doing either of them. The Bang & Olufsen sound system is great. It's really high quality. And this car does have Quattro, which their all-wheel drive system, it was like basically the first of the industry back in the day. However, the xDrive system puts a little bit more power to those rear wheels, which makes the car that much more engaging, and is also why BMW sold about an extra, 20% more vehicles than what Audi sold in this kind of year whenever this car was brand new. For $52,000 though, I would buy this. I would buy this very quickly. The heads-up display looks really great. You have collision mitigation warnings that show up in there. It's not as busy as what's on the BMW, but it does still do a great job as far as telling you what's going on. You've got active blind spot monitoring on either side of the mirrors. And I like that they're actually on the inside of the mirror, which makes it a little bit easier to see what it's saying instead of just being out on the very corner edge. Because sometimes with different like light reflections and stuff, it's a little bit harder to see what's going on with them. I accidentally just turned in my mirrors here, and I don't know how to get them back out. There we go. Okay, that was a little precarious. It takes bumps very smoothly. Body roll isn't bad. It kind of self-corrects here pretty quickly. And throwing it into dynamic mode opens that exhaust up just a little bit more, and you get some cracks and pops as you are going between the shifts. It's got a nice low rumble burble to it. And I think another suspected reason why this car just didn't sell quite as well is the V6 engine is just not as reliable as the B58. Anybody that you talk to, oh my god, B58, B58, B58. And I think that's a lot of the reason why this channel did so well, because I cover a lot of vehicles on this channel with that B58 engine, specifically like the M440 and M340. You can find my review on the M440 Grand Coupe in the description below. Ooh. Okay, that downshift didn't feel half bad. Adaptive cruise control is available on this car. So you got a lot of those other nice creature comforts. I really like how the shoulders fit and feel on the back of this car. And then rear legroom is not too bad. It's about the same as what you'd have in an M440. You could still fit a set of clubs in the back. They always test that pretty substantially on a lot of these luxury cars, because a lot of people just pick this up as their daily driver, or as their weekend car, but they still want to make sure they can take it and get their clubs in the back of it. It would be cool if this thing had maybe a flat bottom steering wheel. It would just make it feel a little bit more engaging, but the steering wheel leather does feel really high quality, so you're still getting that luxury car kind of feel and performance. And the exhaust is pretty spicy. Throw it down into the comfort mode, and you're gonna have it do the automatic start-stop whenever you get up to the lights. So if I take it out of the manual mode, as long as the battery's charged up enough, it should turn that off. Let's see, with this being a 21, okay, so maybe if I have the air conditioning going, it needs to be at a certain battery level. So it's probably not gonna turn off on me now. You do have rain sensing wipers, which are available here just on the left of the center stack display. But you guys can tell there's just so much road noise as those trucks are going by. You don't have that when you're in the M440. I'll try to do a review on a convertible whenever I get my next one in. I do really like Audi's shifter. It's nice and purposeful, and you've got that leather wrapped portion here at the top. I think that the new Audis are all going to the little toggle type thing, just like how BMW has done on our new cars. But on this specific vehicle, I do really like how purposeful that little center stack shifter is. To shift it with the center, it doesn't feel too bad. It feels a little bit big, so I would probably just use the paddles if it was my car. And you do have memory seats and a nice button to put down all four windows at the same time if you want. You can put the top down going up to, I think, 25 miles an hour. So as you are leaving the neighborhood, you can drop that top in 15 seconds. And yeah, so I don't have too much else left to say on this car. It's nice, it's great for the money. I'm sad to see that there's gonna be a little bit less competition in the segment. And hopefully they bring back the S5 in 26. If enough people complain about it, they might do so. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the review, please leave a comment down below. Letting me know what you thought, and while you're down there, go ahead and drop a like on the video as well, and hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to take this channel to 10,000 subscribers, hopefully by May of next year, give or take. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.